this work, it's in concept, we know the pieces that are needed, but it's not always easy to deliver. And I'll give an example of our Project Homekeys, our hotel conversion projects. We built a lot of collaboration, a lot of support to get some of these projects, both our COC, the county, with some of our cities, in particular, the city of Salinas and King City. We seem to be moving forward, and things were going great up until the construction company did us wrong in this community. It really set us back. And when we were talking about what places can we convert more quickly and more affordably, those projects were real, right? So now we're in the process of trying to see how we could rescue some of these projects. And Roxanne has been really on the forefront with those partners, because we're talking about, I don't know, almost 200 units that, well, it's real, where you could have places where we could get people off the street or living in cars or RVs and into an affordable and a better place to be housed. So I just give that as an example that even though we're trying to do the right things and we get the funding and things are moving, sometimes some things are out of control when people don't do what they were supposed to do with that funding. And now there's all these efforts to try to save those projects and put them back to what they were intended to do, which is to serve our residents experiencing homelessness. So that was one. The other piece that I would just convey, you talked about communication with our partners, but I think even when encampments are planned or are taking place, how do we convey to the public the right tone that captures these values and these goals that you outlined? Our COC is part of San Benito and Monterey County. It has both counties, and I haven't seen any local governments all of a sudden after the Supreme Court case or after the executive order start wanting to do encampment cleanups. I think those that did them, they already had those planned. But one of our recent neighboring counties did do that, and I think both Supervisor Naskew and I saw the messaging on our local news, and I think that has to be. I think we have to be intentional also when we're explaining things and to the public to how to not to paint everybody that is facing homelessness with a broad brush. Yes, I know there's frustration in the community, but I think it's important for us as elected officials not to express frustration against our homeless residents or against encampments, but to be, I guess, professional and clear on why, when we do engage in them, why they're needed, but not to try to demonize that those residents in our community that are in those encampments. And I thought for me, it was a recent example of how the messaging is also important as elected officials who go on the evening news and are explaining what's going to happen and why to the public at large. And I just thought that was another piece of where I think when we create these guidelines and protocols, I think that messaging needs to be very intentional and trying, at the same time, trying to convey respect and dignity for those that are living in these places in our communities. That's all I wanted to say, because it was just a recent example where I thought we could do better.